These NBA players give new meaning to the word baller, banking as much as $500,000 per game. And that doesn't even include their endorsement deals. Here are the top 10 richest NBA players still playing. Number 10, Giannis Antetokounmpi. This 6'11" Milwaukee Bucks phenom has an incredibly impressive net worth of $85 million. The Greek freak grew up in Athens, Greece, and because his immigrant parents from Nigeria had difficulty finding work, Giannis and his older brother hustled watches, handbags, and sunglasses in the streets. Fast forward to 2019 and 2020, and Giannis was named the NBA's most valuable player 2 years in a row. His MVP awards triggered huge bonuses from sponsors like Nike, who had extended their deal with him in 2017. Nike released the Zoom Freak 1 in 2019, the largest initial signature shoe launch in Nike basketball history. In December 2020, Giannis signed a 5-year, $228 million Supermax extension with the Bucks, and this quickly paid off as they claimed an NBA championship the very next year. Number 9, Kyrie Irving. One of the most controversial players in the league, the 2011 number 1 overall draft pick out of Duke University has since gone on to amass a net worth of $90 million. Irving helped the Cleveland Cavaliers win their first ever NBA championship in 2016, before eventually signing a 4-year, $141 million deal with the Brooklyn Nets in 2019. Off the court, Irving's involvement in a viral Pepsi ad campaign earned him a feature film in 2018, which he has partial ownership of. The movie, Uncle Drew, grossed $47 million at the box office, and endorsement deals with General Mills and Aleve were tied to the film. Although his partnership with Nike was severed in 2022, Irving's sneakers were consistently among the top sellers. Number 8, Damian Lillard. This clutch, ice-cold point guard for the Portland Trailblazers has a colossal net worth of $100 million. Lillard is a 6-time All-Star out of Weber State who has led the Portland Trailblazers to the playoffs in every season of his career except his first, when he was named Rookie of the Year, and 2021-2022 when he played just 29 games. Lillard's ultra-lucrative contract with the Blazers currently pays him an average salary of more than $40 million per year. As far as endorsement money, Lillard's Adidas signature shoe is one of the company's top sellers. The multi-talented Lillard has also released 4 rap albums, and his track Moneyball was featured on the NBA 2K20 soundtrack. Beyond his millions, Dame is committed to giving back as a global ambassador for the Special Olympics. Number 7, Paul George. PG-13 has managed to amass a monstrous fortune of $105 million. After attending Fresno State, George spent 7 years with the Pacers, where he established himself as a promising young star. In 2018, George signed a 4-year, $137 million extension with the Oklahoma City Thunder after being traded from the Indiana Pacers the prior year. But it was soon revealed that George wasn't happy in OKC, and he forced a trade to the Los Angeles Clippers in 2019. He then signed a huge $190 million 4-year contract extension in 2020. Unfortunately, injuries have been a recurring issue for George, limiting him to only 31 games during the 2021-2022 season. But despite his on-the-court career falling short of expectations, George has still found a way to cash in off the court. He was featured on the cover of the video game NBA 2K17, and his first signature shoe, the PG1, was released by Nike in 2017. Number 6, John Wall. Now here's a name you may not have expected to see on this list, but Wall, who currently plays for the Clippers, is actually worth an astonishing $110 million. After spending 1 year with the Kentucky Wildcats, Wall was drafted by the Washington Wizards with the #1 overall pick in the 2010 NBA draft. Even though many would argue Wall underachieved, he did put up some decent numbers his first few years in the league, and the Wizards ultimately signed him to a $169 million contract extension in July 2017, 2 years ahead of his free agency. But after years of waiting, the Wizards finally traded the 5-time All-Star to the Houston Rockets in December 2020. Wall had suffered a devastating Achilles tendon rupture in 2019, forcing him to miss the entire 2019-2020 season. The Rockets and Wall agreed that he would sit out the 2021-2022 season while they worked on a trade, which eventually landed him in LA. Number 5, Steph Curry. Widely regarded as the greatest shooter in NBA history, this 4-time NBA champion has an enormous net worth of $160 million. A 2-time MVP, Curry made history in 2017 when he signed the NBA's first $200 million contract. He then cemented his financial legacy 4 years later when he re-signed with the Warriors for an incredible $215 million 4-year extension. In November 2020, Under Armour announced the launch of the Curry brand in an effort to compete with Nike's Jordan brand. That same year, Curry's production company, Unanimous Media, signed a deal with Audible, followed by a development deal with Comcast NBC Universal in 2021. Despite being seriously underestimated early on in his career, Curry was eventually able to score some big-time payouts from endorsement deals with Palm, Rakuten, Infinity, and Chase. Number 4, James Harden. One of the most prolific scorers in the league, Harden has produced a whopping $165 million fortune. The Beard was drafted by the Thunder after proving himself as an unstoppable force in the Pac-10, where he played for Arizona State. A 3-time scoring champ and 2018 MVP, Harden first honed his skills in OKC as part of a powerful trio with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. But eventually, Harden was tired of being a sidekick and decided to take his talents to Houston for a huge payday. In 2017, he signed an incredible 4-year extension worth a staggering $171 million. But 4 years later, Harden again decided to change course and left Houston to join the Brooklyn Nets. Then, just 1 year later, he was traded to the 76ers. Off the court, Adidas signed Harden to a 13-year deal worth as much as $200 million. He also had an equity stake in Body Armor, which paid off greatly when Coca-Cola bought the brand for a huge sum in fall 2021. Harden also invested $15 million for a small stake in the Houston Dynamo MLS soccer team in July 2019. Number 3, Russell Westbrook. With a vast net worth of $200 million, Westbrook has firmly established himself as one of the most financially successful players in the league. After playing for UCLA, Westbrook went on to have a very successful run with the Thunder, becoming a 2-time scoring champ and the 2017 MVP. He also made history as the first player to average a triple-double for 3 consecutive seasons. Westbrook was rewarded with a 5-year, $207 million extension with Oklahoma City. But in December 2020, he was traded to the Wizards, and a year later, he was traded to the Lakers. His arrival in LA has been met with controversy, as some fans believe Westbrook has destroyed the franchise, but he has still managed to cash in off the court. In 2017, he extended his deal with Nike's Jordan brand for another 10 years, and in 2018, he was given his first signature shoe. Westbrook also owns 10 car dealerships in the Los Angeles area, adding even more cash to his bank accounts. Number 2, Kevin Durant. The Slim Reaper has a humongous $210 million fortune. Durant was drafted out of Texas before spending 9 years in OKC, where he helped revive the franchise and made the previously dismal Thunder a perennial contender. Durant then joined Golden State in 2016, where he helped them win 2 championships, winning the Finals MVP both years. After 3 successful seasons with Golden State, Durant joined the Brooklyn Nets in 2019, signing a 4-year, $164 million contract. KD has also become a savvy investor and entrepreneur, banking big money from sponsors such as Coinbase, NBA Top Shot, and Weedmaps. Through his firm 35 Ventures, he's invested in more than 80 companies and in 2020 purchased a major stake in the soccer's Philadelphia Union. Number 1, LeBron James. Drafted straight out of high school by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2003, King James has become one of the greatest players of all time, generating an almost impossible net worth of $1 billion, becoming the first ever active billionaire player. Over his illustrious career, James has won 4 NBA championships, including 4 Finals MVP trophies. He's also an 18-time All-Star and 4-time MVP. Born to a 16-year-old single mother, LeBron had a tumultuous upbringing, as he lived with an assortment of family members, friends, neighbors, and even his Pee-wee football coach before being drafted by Cleveland in 2003. Since then, James has earned more than $385 million in salary from the Cavaliers, Heat, and his current team, the Lakers. James has also pulled in more than $900 million off the court from business ventures and endorsement deals with the likes of PepsiCo, Walmart, and Nike. The secret to his billionaire status is that James has been more than a pitchman, taking equity in brands he works with, including Beats by Dre and the fast-growing Blaze pizza chain. His philanthropic efforts have also made a lasting impact, as his LeBron James Family Foundation opened its first elementary school in 2018 and has pledged to spend more than $40 million sending kids to college. Feel free to comment below with any helpful information that we may have missed. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to give it a like and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.